Welcome to etvFutures.com. It's Wednesday, January 30th. I'm Remy Hokie for your Commodities Recap. NYMEX crude oil futures gained, closing up above $92 a barrel. Initially, crude was lower after the Fed announced its rate cut, as some traders had been anticipating more than a 50 basis point cut. Earlier, the EIA said crude rose by 3.6 million barrels during the week ended January 25th. March crude added 69 cents to close at $92.33 on the NYMEX. Taking a look at other petroleum products, February gasoline futures added 0.45 cents to end at $2.33 a gallon, while February heating oil futures rose 0.75 cents to settle at $2.54.93 a gallon. The EIA also reported earlier that distillate inventories fell by 1.5 million barrels last week. Meanwhile, March nat gas futures rose 10.2 cents to close at $8.045 per million BTU. Over in the metals complex, COMEX gold futures surged on the heels of the Fed rate cut. Following the Fed decision, April gold gained $10.10 to $940.90 an ounce in after-hours trading. Earlier, gold settled down by $4.50 at $926.30 an ounce. This afternoon, we're joined by Derek Frey, head trader at etvFutures and Options. He'll weigh in on commodities prices following the Fed rate announcement.
Okay, recapping the action we saw in the metal and energy pits today. I'll start with metals, I guess. Obviously, can't make any comments today without reflecting on the Fed. We saw the FOMC cut rates by the half a basis point that was largely anticipated by analysts in the market. So basically the stock market got what it wanted. It's, of course, weakening the dollar, which has put a very strong bid back into both gold and crude oil. We saw immediately after an immediate reaction to that cut, obviously. And we did see gold push 940, which is an all-time new high, basically. Bottom line, from where we sit here, we do not see this this move following through in any significant way. In fact, we wouldn't be surprised to see a retracement back to pre-FOMC announcement levels as early as the end of the week, possibly even tonight in the overnight market. But at least in the case of gold. In the case of energy, we do see continued upside in energy. Crude oil found 92.50, or is finding it, I should say, pretty much right now in the electronic. We do see that following through, maybe again also not immediately, but in this case at least longer term, looking ahead into next week and the weeks beyond. We do see the mid-90s ultimately being tested, and frankly a retest of the old highs.
That was Derek Frey, head trader at etvFutures and Options, with his commodities commentary. And that wraps it up for your commodities recap. I'm Remy Hokie. Join us later this afternoon for PM Exchange right here on etvFutures.com.